Good morning, every day. The final day of nationals back at the Texas Shooting Academy. It is early, but not as early as the athletes had to be here this morning for their safety briefing, get ready, warm, and a couple more stages to take on for the day. We are starting with men's elite squad number 2. They are taking on the chipper. That is stage 5. We watched this one yesterday with the women's 40 plus. So changing it up, the weights get heavier and these boxes are much taller. We'll take a look as they get ready to go. So these are the tall boxes, 48 inches. Is what they have to get the sandbag and their body up and over. We're looking at a 15-minute time cap. They will move through 3 fitness portions, 3 rounds at the firing line. And then if time remains, they will move back to this first portion. So what we have on tap, those are 175-pound sandbags. They have to do a hand release burpee and then get the sandbag and their body up and over for 12 total reps. In our lanes here, Spencer Panchik to the far left. Samson Bale, getting through his burpees. David Merritt. Justin Benincourt. And Josh Sykes. Final day of competition. They are more than halfway into their events. 8 done already. 8 done. So their body is feeling pretty brutal at this point. But this is where you really know if you've had the right training throughout the season, if you learned some things through regionals, because some of these implements, some of these full stages are either repeats or similar and upgraded. So they have been able to retest what they learned from earlier in the season before they qualified and actually got to nationals today. We had a couple people asking yesterday, are there divisions based on height, on body weight? That is not how we treat tactical games. You decide which division you're in based on ability. The shooting is the same for all of our divisions. The only differences are the fitness portion. So when we're looking at the number of reps specifically for rope climbs, or when we're looking at the weight inside these bags, or sometimes the reps are different for that as well. You'll see some stages, maybe like this one that has this tall 48-inch box that might favor a taller, bigger athlete, especially as we're looking at 175 pounds in that bag. But then there's also running. There's also burpees that will favor a lighter and smaller athlete. So once you look at the entire programming for a weekend, it tends to all even out. Spencer Panchik, the first one through the fitness portion, as he makes his way to the firing line here, he will have 12 shots with his rifle, standing freestyle, and then 10 shots with his pistol, also standing freestyle. David also now at the firing line as well. And you can see the way that he kind of has his sling wrapped over his arm. We talked about it yesterday when we caught up with Star. Just allows the athlete to have a little bit more stability as they're pulling the trigger. Spencer now working on his pistol. Spencer first one done with round number 1. Now he moves on to the second fitness portion, and they'll have 2 bags that they'll have to throw all the way over that blue line. One is 55 pounds and the other one is 45 pounds. So we've seen a couple of different strategies. We've seen what Spencer's doing right now. We've also seen people have a almost like an oblique side turn with them, and then we've also seen people throw them almost like a kettlebell between the legs, a big swing, and throwing it over. 12 total rounds for this. David and Samson now. David to your right, Samson to the left. So we have your 1, 2, and 3. Spencer, David, and Samson. And all 3 of them using pretty much the same strategy, while Samson and David are using both arms as they throw. Spencer is still just using that one. Almost reminds me of how I'd throw a ball in bocce ball. And now the rest of the men's elite also making their way through the second fitness portion of our chipper.
Oh. Good.
After this, they will only have 1 fitness portion left. And then, as I mentioned right off the top, if time remains in this 15-minute time cap, they then will accumulate as many bags and bodies over the sandbag with that hand release burpee that we saw at the beginning. These guys were thinking, we might not have enough time. But yesterday, I think I saw nearly all of the heats, at least have a couple of athletes make it back to the box. So we'll see what happens here. Also knowing that their weight is heavier than the other divisions. Spencer first to the firing line. He has a history of being a CrossFit Games athlete. That is his background, primarily CrossFit. This is the first season that he's been out here competing with tactical games. He's in Ohio and has been working with our skirmishes out there. So really dialing in on getting to the firing line, practicing his shooting, both pistol and rifle. A lot of dry fire practice. David, once again, the second athlete to make it to the firing line. So even though Spencer has been the first through the fitness and to the firing line, from what I can see is it looks like David is shooting a bit cleaner than Spencer. So that's all going to take into account of what their final score is. If you're new to tactical games, it's not always the fastest athlete through the fitness that will win, because obviously shooting is a huge part of the sport. It's half of the sport. Now to the final fitness portion. Spencer with that 165-pound sandbag tombstone. So he'll have 12 down and backs here. Just have to cross over the wooden line there.
9 minutes in.
So 9 minutes in, 15-minute time cap. We know Spencer and now David is making his way to the fitness. They will both have plenty of time to make it back to the original boxes. David hustling a bit, faster pace than Spencer. We'll see how close he can get to catching up. So Spencer on your top right corner, David here on the low part of the screen. Samson also joining. Spencer has yet to let go of the sandbag, so he is trying to go for unbroken with just a couple more, where we saw David having a faster cadence, but he did take a break.
10 minutes in. 10 minutes in.
And nice, Spencer's made it through. David up top taking a break. Samson's still moving with it. Spencer's last round here at the firing line. Samson's now been able to catch up to David, both of them walking to the firing line at the exact same time for their final round. Samson to the right, David to the left. Samson now passing David. David's still getting his magazine for his rifle.
3 minutes left.
Make these point count.
Spencer finished. He will go to the very beginning. And we'll watch him do his burpees in just a moment, but I do want to make note, even though David is a little bit slower than Samson and Spencer, from what I can see, he does look to have more shots within his circles and squares, within his targets. So each miss is a 10-second penalty that will be added on to your total time. Samson is done. David will finish up. We'll go check in with Spencer as he is well into his hand release burpees, sandbag and body over the box. About 2 minutes left before the time cap here.
Sam. Good job, bud.
2.
Keep going, come on. Good job, Sam.
3.
Go, Josh. You got it. 1 minute. Just shut it. Come on, man. You got it. You got it.
4. Let's go. We're at 4.
Get 2 more.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Oh, got it, boss.
Come on. That's it, Sam.
Gotta get 1 more. Come on. 4.
Get on the other side. Good. Nice job.
1 more. Let's go.
30 seconds. 1 more, Sam. Come on, Dave.
This is the final push. We'll see if you can get it over. Got to get the bag and your body over. Got to get over. Got to get over. And both of them right before the buzzer. Whew. What a way to start day 3 of nationals. Their first stage of the day. Kicking off the men's elite division. The rest will follow at this stage. So now they will reset, get the stage ready for the next ones. We'll let them clean up some of their stuff. Then we will catch up before the next stage begins. Well, get some warm-up reps, seeing what that bag feels like.
Good job, Dave.
Athletes, once you get your weapons, please grab a clicker.
And we'll let Spencer grab his equipment. Then we'll chat with him quickly before he then judges the next heat coming up. Spence, it's okay, you can walk in. You've been putting a lot of work in.
Yeah.
Come from a CrossFit background, working on a lot of firearm training. Do you feel like it's paying off so far this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. Each one I feel like I get better and better, surrounding myself with the right people. I feel like everybody's so helpful. I feel like each competition I learned something and found the right person to train with. Like, for instance, the last one was really bad at pistol, so I wouldn't train with Colin John. He runs the skirmish, so he helped me clean up my pistol, and yeah, it's just getting better. Carried into next year.
These are some big boxes, the biggest that we've seen out at the tactical games. There are similar ones at the CrossFit Games. Did you ever use those ones?
I don't think that high. That was pretty high, but it was different. It was a cool implement. I don't think a lot of people train it, so it was like that unknown aspect. But no, it's fun. Everybody's awesome, and it's addicting.
Yes, it is. Well, good luck on the rest of the stages, and congratulations today.
You.
All right, no rest for the week. The interesting thing, we've been talking about it, maybe in our other videos, but if this is the first one you've seen, when they are done competing, they have maybe 2-3 minutes, grab their stuff, rest for a moment, and then they immediately have to judge the next squad. So this isn't something where you can just sell your soul, lay on the ground, and start recovery. It's part of the community aspect, the camaraderie that we have in tactical games. You have to then judge the next squad. So get your breathing under control. If you got water on the side, bring it with you, but that's what they're about to do. And we will be following this all day long. Our final day, there is a final event. The top 5 elite men and 5 elite women will advance to that later tonight. So that'll be our last video, the finale. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of our coverage throughout the day.